Most who believe in God believe God is watching over us every moment of every day, guiding us, saving us. To me, it has to be a miracle that he can look out for all 7 billion of us. So when I heard about Alcides Moreno, I had to come to New York and hear his story.
Well, here we are.
8 years ago, Alcides came to work as a window washer at this 47-story tower in Manhattan.
Tell me about it. What happened?
I wake up in the morning, take my car and commute from New Jersey and come to the building.
You take the elevator.
And go all the way to the top.
The top is 47 stories up.
Stairs, yes. And climb to the platform.
Alcides had just begun to lower the platform when one of the 2 cables holding it snapped.
I just grabbed the scaffold and I scroll up until another cable snapped. The paramedics, they found him right in the middle, the scaffold like that.
Between the 2 buildings.
Yeah, between 2. Right. It was right in the middle. They picked me up from there.
Alcides fell 47 stories, 500 feet. He broke 10 bones, his lungs collapsed. He needed 43 pints of blood and plasma. He spent 3 weeks in a coma.
Do you remember the day you woke up from the coma?
I wake up December 24th, right there in the bed, and my wife was there.
A fall from just 10 stories is something hardly anyone survives. Doctors say Alcides' 47-story plunge was beyond belief.
I've seen it all, or at least I think I have, until something like this happens.
You fell from up there down to here.
Yes.
And here you are.
Yes, sir. And look at that, walking, everything.
Give me a name for that.
I mean, the doctor told me, you are a miracle, man. Say, you are a miracle.
What do you think?
I don't know. Still, I don't know.
Alcides has a hard time accepting this as a miracle because he was not alone when he fell. His younger brother was on this platform with him. He died the moment he hit the ground.
What was your brother's name?
Edgar.
Edgar. There we are. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 faces, same.
Very nice.
My brother was a big loss to me. He
Were you
was
close?
Really, really close. That was a great man.
I'm sorry, Alcides. It must be very painful.
Yes. I just bring it to work with me to help it out. Because,
He's younger?
oh yes, that was younger than me, and that's a good man.
Well, he was washing windows 47 stories above the streets of New York City when his scaffolding gave way. Alcides Moreno and his brother were in a free fall, plummeting to the ground, and his brother died instantly. And when Alcides arrived at the emergency room, doctors described his condition as a, quote, complete disaster. That was 1 month ago. Now he is awake, alert, and doctors say he will most likely walk again. How is this possible? He is now Fox News Health Managing Editor, Dr. Manny Alvarez. Dr. Manny, good morning.
Good morning.
This is stunning. You read this story. This guy had both legs broken, right arm, right wrist broken in several places, severe injuries to the chest, abdomen and spinal column injured, brain was bleeding, everything was bleeding, according to the people in the ER.
You know, if you ask every doctor at Weill Cornell Medical Center, they'll tell you that this is a real medical miracle. You know, he started talking Christmas Day, which was amazing. And, you know, if you look at the statistics, he fell 500 feet, 47 stories. If you look at the statistics, anybody that falls from 3 stories has a 50-50 chance of surviving. Anything above 10 stories, the survival rate is almost 0. And this individual...
So how can this be?
Well, you know... Miracle for sure, but I think 3 factors perhaps were important. He held on to the scaffolding, and that might have slowed down the drop of descent while he was going down. The second thing, of course, the surface that he landed. It makes a huge difference whether you land in different surfaces, and also the impact that he received from the surface. And the third thing is, most of his injuries, although he had a complete trauma internally to his chest and abdomen, he had broken legs. So if perhaps he fell in such a way that most of the impact fell in his lower extremities, those 3 factors have been associated with survival in people that have fell, for instance, from airplanes.
I see.
So, you know, if you
How could he walk again? How could it be that he could walk again? I guess obviously his spinal cord was not severed,
Yeah, I mean,
but he had crushed vertebrae.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And he had, you know, organ damage. He was bleeding from every orifice. He got 24 units of blood. Now, one of the things that the doctors did at Weill Cornell basically is they just went into action immediately. They couldn't, you know, they didn't even take him to the operating room. They operated on him right in the emergency room.
Wow.
So I think that this whole, you know, the team effort that he received, all the intervention, the early intervention, the fact that perhaps there were multiple variables that slowed the descent of his drop and the way he fell, all of that together, and the great, you know, the grace of God,
Yeah.
this man is going hopefully home someday.
Now, he's had 10 operations
Right.
so far. I mean, this is only within a month. He's had 10 operations to try to save his life. What kind of rehab is he looking at? And is he out of the woods yet?
Well, no, he's not out of the woods. He has his abdomen is still open because the kind of operations for trauma like this, they take several stages. So he's going to get reclosure of his abdominal wall. He still has to have a spinal surgery repair, and he's going to need a lot of rehab. But nonetheless, if you being the fact that he has cognitive function, he knows where he's at, he recognizes his family, he's able to move his limbs, and he's able to talk. I think that's something that is really not seen in anybody who falls 500 feet.
You know, not to take anything away from the big man upstairs, but this is really a tribute as well to the doctors and the nurses at that hospital.
Absolutely.
We've had so many stories where, unfortunately, doctors and nurses get ripped on for making major mistakes. This is just an example of what they do every day.
Absolutely. This really was a team effort between the emergency service department here in New York, the police department, the fire department, and everybody together in conjunction with the doctors and nurses that work on this man.
Yeah.
It was indeed a group effort and a miracle for sure.
Apparently, he was lying in bed and he was reaching out to touch his wife's face regularly, and finally he reached out to touch the face of a nurse.
A nurse.
And the wife said, "Hey, stop that!" And he looks at the wife and says, "What'd I do?" And she says, "You can talk?"
No. He still has
Unbelievable.
that spice in him, which is very good.
Dr. Manny, thanks so much for being here.
Thank
We
you.
do wish him well, and good for all those doctors and nurses there.